Again, I'm a guy who went from medical education to running a nonprofit cancer foundation. In the middle of that, I was in direct sales. So I learned from one of the top direct sales professionals in the world how to build international organizations. That's what I did. That's what I do. Right. And like some of you, I mean, I found out on Power on Facebook. Somebody hit me up, and next thing you know, I'm vice president of the company. So you never know where life's journey is going to take you. So, Chris, if you want to put your first slide up to speak to that same thing, a lot of us don't come from this. So if you're worried that you've never built a team, or you've never recruited, or you've never done this, or you've never done that, that's okay. Because none of us ever did until we did, right? You just have to learn how to do that. So, Chris, could you just share with everybody in a minute, your background? Chris comes from an IT, world, different lifestyle. Him and my conversations are always about how to transition his knowledge of tech into the knowledge of human development, people development, forming relationships and all those things. Those are the things that Chris and I are talking about right now. Chris, maybe you can share for a moment, what it was like to make the transition, from an IT guy who I don't think's ever sold anything, doesn't really, didn't really hang around people for a living, to becoming this top recruiter in Power. What was that journey like?
Thank you, Bobby. Yes. Happy Friday, everyone. Hope you guys are all doing well. Put in the chat where you're located. Definitely want to hear from you guys. But yeah, Bobby, I come from a marketing background. I've been doing e-commerce, website marketing, Google Analytics, SEO, pay-per-click ads, and everything like that for the last, almost 20 years now. So it's definitely been a transition and a journey. I do have a marketing background, and I'm now using that marketing background in Power. I think everyone should bring their skill set to this platform, but it's definitely been a journey. I have the marketing background. One of my companies actually failed and went under, and then I tried working at Amazon corporate back in 2019, and that was terrible. And eventually my brother told me, hey, Solar's kicking off. He's doing really well. He was building a team, and he was trying to recruit me, just like Bobby, you recruited my brother. So yeah, I started with Power about 2 years ago, almost to the day, February 1st, 2021. Yep. And yeah, it was a lot of work. It was learning a new industry. It was learning Zoom, everything.
Yeah. So hold there for a second. So again, folks, if you're new to this or you're trying to learn, we always try and break this down. LinkedIn is a key strategy that I use to sponsor people. I went after people like Jonathan Brunasso on LinkedIn. I'm corporate, so I don't keep those people. I give them away. Love to give you some people if that's a path you deserve and want to talk about. Took me 6 months to get Jonathan Brunasso, who was already a $200,000-$300,000 a year professional in solar, already an EXP agent. And, so I got Jonathan Brunasso on LinkedIn, and then Jonathan Brunasso brings his brother to the party, again, with no background, no sales experience, just his IT. So all of you come to Power like Chris did with his skill set, with his talents. He has talents that I don't have. I'd never dreamed to understand what he understands about Facebook marketing and online marketing and all that. So, that's where we come together. I try and teach Chris what I know, and he tries to teach me what he knows. So, and he's made an indelible impression on our company. And the fact, again, just like the wedding, the fact that two twin brothers could be working together and making millions of dollars a year now between them in this year, and doing it together, and traveling the country and the world together is pretty freaking cool, right? That's what Power is about, right? So let's keep going. So, you've obviously had some great success. You and your brother have both won Teslas, I think we just put a clause in the contract that there are no more Teslas allowed to go to the Brunasso brothers. They are barred from the next car contest. We're tired of filling up their driveway. So there it is. So all of you are bringing the skill sets that you have, the love, the understanding, the passion for the environment, whatever it may be, to the party. And then if you're open-minded enough, people like Chris and Jonathan and Maureen and Aaron, like myself, will teach you how to build an organization if you'd like. So let's go to the next slide. So, let's talk about why build a team. And then I want to talk this over to Chris. Again, You can make $200,000-$300,000 a year selling solar on the Power platform, maybe more. If you're really great, maybe 400, maybe 500. You can make more than that if you become a tier 3 seller and you're also mentoring other people's deals. But the freedom, the financial freedom and power comes when you're able to build multiple organizations, develop multiple leaders in power, that you build a team, which is essentially what I was charged to do with Power. When I flew out to California, Jonathan Budd put me in front of a room and said, how would you build this company? And I shared with him what I would do. I look at it from a real estate, as all of you know, and a leadership perspective. You open cities and you find multiple leaders in these cities and you build multiple markets. The reason why that's smart in today's world is, and I talked about this yesterday, is because you can't trust the government and you can't trust weather events and you can't trust COVID. In other words, so building a team, if you're going to build a team in one market, is not a sound strategy. They overturned the ability really to sell clean energy in Nevada 2 years ago. And then we overturned that decision. That's the desert. They just tried to kill Governor Newsom in California, who I think should be in jail, just allow the bill to pass NEM in California, trying to kill clean energy in California. And just earlier this year, Governor DeSantis, like him or not, saved a bill that was snuck into the House of Representatives to kill solar in the Sunshine State of Florida. So not to make it sound like bad news, but the reason you build teams is to insulate your income. The reason you build multiple teams in multiple markets is to insulate your income. One city, one state could get knocked out by anything, could get knocked out by a weather event, hurricane. Look at Puerto Rico, look at South Florida. Look at the fires in California. We don't know what's next. We just had the storm of the century blow through the United States. So building teams in multiple markets just makes sense. So Chris, if you can share with everybody how you approach that. I mean, what was your thinking there? Remember, because you heard these conversations with me, and you should build a team, and you should build a team all over the United States, and you should develop multiple leaders. But what was the mindset of you when you went from IT, I do ClickFunnels, I do this, I do that, to the actual concept of building a team? What was your journey? What was your thought?
Yeah. You know, what's funny, Bobby, is when I joined 2 years ago, I told my brother, I don't want to sell solar. I just want to do marketing and stay behind my computer and do all this, right? But what I learned is when you build a team, you get to mentor others, you get to help other people. But real quick, if everyone could just put in the chat, why do you think you should build a team? I want to hear from you guys. What do you think is the reason you want to build a team? Can you guys put in the chat real quick? I want to hear from you guys. Passive income, time leverage, leadership, duplication, strength in numbers, revenue share. Boom. You guys are on top of it. So yeah, guys, passive income from revenue share, residual income. You guys are nailing it right here. Do you guys want, JC Rangel says this, guys, do you want to go D2D until you are DEAD? No, you don't. You want to build a team. You want to duplicate yourself. You want to leverage yourself. When you go on vacation, if you're just selling solar, when you go on vacation, so does your paycheck, right? So this might sound absurd, but one of your goals possibly could be to stop selling solar. Because if you have such a big team like my brother and you're focused on the team, you're focused on supporting them, you're focused on giving them referrals, giving them leads, then what are you doing? You're earning off your team. You're getting that revenue share. JC Rangel said this one time and it really resonated with me. Would you rather make 100% off your own work of 100% of your own time and energy and effort, or would you rather make 1% off of 100 people, right? And if you can see this image on the right, you can see the revenue share that I made in the last 30 days. And that's what's possible. How many of you guys would like that by your team without working? Today's revenue share Friday. And what I learned, Bobby, was that when you're a top builder, you're a top mentor as well. So when you're building a team, you're a mentor. If you're a mentor, right? If you've sold 5 deals, if you're a tier 3, and then you build a team, you also get to help mentor your team's deals, the first 1 to 3 leads. And guys, as Bobby tells you, it's no joke. Those are some of the best leads ever. is the tier 3 mentor leads. There's hundreds of new people joining Power every single month. And if you're a tier 3 mentor or you're building a team, you get to help them close their deals. And often it's their friends, family, neighbors, mom, themselves. That I just closed 2 deals yesterday that new recruits I brought in sold themselves. Those are super easy, right? So those are definitely some of the reasons.
So let's talk about that a little bit. Remember, so a couple of things come to my mind when I hear that so eloquently stated is I hear sometimes people's excuses. I don't want to build a team until I do this, until I do that, until I have complete confidence in the program, until I've sold some deals myself, until I become a tier 3 mentor, because I don't want to lose any of that revenue. Worst possible strategy on the planet.
Don't wait.
And again, it's our job, it's your job to explain this to new people as they come in the company, because it's pure mathematics. I don't share opinions, I share data. If you start in our company, you decide you're going to wait 90 to 120 days to 150 days to build your team because you want to wait for your first installs or wait till you've done this or wait till you've done that. Guess what? There are actively people, including me and Chris, recruiting everybody from day one, right? They're recruiting it. So every minute you wait for whatever baggage you've got in your head is another minute that you could lose everybody you've got. And again, remember, you're in solar. So your first project may go as planned, it may not. 2 out of 10 deals are going to fail because of the challenges in the construction industry. You have to plan for these things. So I believe that every team builder that comes in this company should start building from day one. They should have a private business launch in a perfect world. They should plan a Zoom with everybody they know and launch their business properly and correctly and get off to a good start. Somebody put in the chat bar, I've got to recruit a Jonathan Brunasso or Chris Brunasso. And I would say to them, whoever it was and everybody else, are you putting in the work to do that? The reason I got Jonathan Brunasso is because I'm on LinkedIn every day recruiting. I'm on Facebook every day recruiting. Even though I don't make a dime from it, even though I've got 1,000 other things to do, I feel like the only way I can lead is from the front. I've sponsored more people than anybody in Power, over 500 people personally in my spare time with simple systems that I teach every week here, LinkedIn, Facebook. And I didn't just get Jonathan Brunasso. He's too good for that. You don't just recruit him. We went through months of back and forth. And finally, I hit him at the right moment with the right thought, with the right conversation. And then he brings a Chris Brunasso to the party. So you got to think about, are you doing the things to do what Chris just said? And secondly, the goal is, remember, we're trying to develop leaders on this Zoom. It's not what we can tell you. We're not telling you to tell you. We're teaching you to teach other people. So as you're building your team, you want to lay down this foundation with them from Jump Street. If you're looking to build a team, we start now. I think next week I'm going to go back and teach the private business launch again, and we'll walk through it step by step. It's the most powerful tool in all of direct sales. So, Jonathan and Chris and their team, have taken over a lot of the landscape in this company. That's what this is, real estate. And they're doing it by using all these strategies. And it's not by luck. They outwork, they outthink, they outmarket, they outspend, 80% of the people in Power. They're just thinking ahead of the game. And they're treating this, again, like they're the CEO of their own renewable energy company, not like they're a seller on the Power platform. Different mindset, right? Different in how you think. So let's keep going, Chris. Let's go to the next one and talk a little bit more about what you're doing, right? So, because everybody needs to learn from you. So in your opinion, walk them through, talk a little bit about how you do your magic.
Yeah. So, the why is really strong, right? And that's what you're talking about. Why do you guys want to build a team? What is the goal, right? And I think with anything, your why is so important, right? Why do you do what you do, right? Sometimes the how is not crazy hard, right? I can tell you how to lose weight and get muscles, go to the gym every day, right? Sometimes your why, your purpose, your passion is more important. So really anchor that in. Why do you want to do this? What are your goals? Is it time freedom? Is it location freedom? Is it the passive income? What have you? And some of the strategies, here's some of the how, right? So, as you guys are getting out there, as you're networking, right? My brother and I advocate BNI, Chamber of Commerce. My brother not only sold 13 deals in his first year from BNI, just attending a once a week BNI meeting, which we have trainings about, but he also recruited other sales reps to join him. There's actually a realtor my brother recruited, and he gives us referrals, and he has some of the biggest deals that we've sold just from this one realtor. So as you guys are out there networking, going to BNI, Chamber of Commerce, LinkedIn, Facebook, whatever it is, in terms of building a team, I think there's two main areas, right? You can think about the home professionals, realtors, loan officers, roofers, HVAC, contractors, right? And with them, you can kill two birds with one stone. You can either get referrals from them and offer them your $1,000 program, but more importantly, and what you should be doing is having them join the platform so they can incorporate solar into their business and join your team and your company with power, right? So any of these home professionals, guys, how can you reach out to more of them? How can you network with more of them? Can you go to a Chamber of Commerce, a city council meeting, a farmer's market? Can you network with them on LinkedIn? As Bobby tells you guys, search on LinkedIn or Facebook for realtors, for loan officers. My brother has a training on how you can go on LinkedIn, on Instagram, and do the hashtag just sold. If you do hashtag just sold, guys, you're going to find tons of realtors who have just sold deals, right? And the second category that you want to network with and find people and connect with them is salesmen and women, people selling water, cars, alarms, pest, insurance, cell phones. My brother used to sell cell phones. I was just talking to two guys this week who sold Kirby vacuums back in the day.
Yeah.
And they're
so let's take a pause, Chris. Again,
yeah.
Always good to stop and talk about what we're talking about, break it down a little bit, right? I've had multiple conversations with people over the last 72 hours. How many of you have looked in your local on Google and looked at the local trade shows in your market for the next 30 or 60 days? I just had a talk with R. Craig Bloom about, he's doing 5 shows, and somebody called me last night. They're doing the roofing show. Have you Googled in your local market if there's a local insurance meeting or a local real estate convention or a local garden show, home and garden show? There's a solar one at every one. And like I share with a lot of these people, remember, everybody can visit a BNI group. Break it down. We had BNI on here a couple weeks ago. That recording is in your knowledge center. You can visit them for free. Check them out. See which one vibes for you. Meet people in the process. There's some people who never join them. They visit them, grab some cards and all that. I don't necessarily advise that, but they only allow one solar person in each meeting. So if you're giving up that real estate, either you in your marketplace or some member of your team, imagine if you're Jonathan Brunasso and you've got 100 people around the United States on your team attending BNIs every week, and you own the BNI real estate. Your income just went up 10, 20%, right? Also, just a little trick for the trade. I'm talking to these guys and gals that are doing shows. When I do a trade show, I've never taken a booth. I go to the trade show and I walk the booth. I want the guys and the gals in the booths. They are road warriors. They are already paying for these things. They're not making the money that they want, or they wouldn't be traveling around the country doing a trade show every week. God bless them, right? So they know how to talk to people. They've got warm markets. They're grabbing business cards every day. It's a no-brainer. Again, the roofer in that booth, the real estate person in that booth, the lawn and garden person in that booth, whoever they are. So there's also a strategy within the strategy. How do you work BNI when you get there? How do you grab those cards and build those relationships and grab somebody for a cup of coffee? Engaging versus pitching. How to work a trade show. And not just what you do in the booth if you get a booth, but what you do before the trade show, when you do it. You do it at 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock when people are setting up. You don't want to take away their time when they're actually trying to talk to their customers, right? So there's a strategy for all those things. And Chris is brilliantly implementing them into his overall strategy as the CEO of his own renewable energy company. Because 6 months from now, a year from now, when you're making a decision whether power is working for you or it's not, the first place you got to look is in the mirror. Have I tried this? Have I tried that? Have I done this? Have I done that? Am I consistent in my efforts? Jim Bunches teaches every day how to make these into habits, daily routines. If you haven't watched Jim do his thing and you haven't understood the mindset, the human condition, Power is the only company that I know of in the world that offers the kind of training that Jim offers, and better than anybody else on the planet, about how to weave these things into your conscience. Maybe we can get him on for a minute if he's still around a little bit. So let's take that a step further, Chris. So you're doing those things. And when you say, what is your skill set? What does that mean?
Exactly, right? There's so many ways that you guys can connect with more realtors, loan officers, roofers, home professionals, or salesmen and women, right? What ways can you guys find them and connect with them, right? What is your skill set? Are you good at, are you a really people person? Are you good at networking? Okay, go to a BNI, go to a Chamber of Commerce. Have you ever set up a booth before, presented? Okay, set up a booth somewhere, or just walk the booths like Bobby. Are you good on social media? Are you good at making your own graphics on Canva or posting videos of yourself? Use social media, right? So these are all different strategies, right? Whatever your skill set is, for me, I knew how to do marketing and online advertising. And so I'm using that, right? My brother is way more extroverted and out there and people person than I am. And he went to BNI and Chamber of Commerce and set up booths and met mayors of cities and posts on social media all the time. So use your skill set, bring your skill set, right? These are all ways that you can find and connect with these people that are potentials to get referrals from. And more importantly, join and build your own company with power. So LinkedIn, Google, YouTube, can you post a video? Can you post on social media, right? And utilize groups, guys. Groups are very important, whether it's on Facebook or LinkedIn or any type of group, right? There's lots of solar professional groups on Facebook. I'll go on there and I'll message them on the side. There's sales groups, there's network marketing groups, there's environmental groups, work from home groups, home professional groups, realty groups. So whatever platform you're on, can you find these groups? Can you direct message people? Can you interact with them? Can you message them? Can you join some of these networking events, right? Whatever your skill set is, apply it in these fashions to find more of these people, connect with them, let them know about power, let them know they can add solar to their business. Pretty soon, before you know it, you're going to be networked and connected with a ton of people, and not only their first level, but more levels beyond that. So,
yeah. So let me add something to this. Type in the chat bar if you wouldn't mind. So what's the real goal here? Is the goal to do a trade show? Is the goal to LinkedIn market? Is the goal to join BNI? What's the big goal? It's not, can you do it? Fill in the blank. The goal is, can you teach it? Can you go prove it? Like we've done so many things in power. We've already proven BNI. It's not debate. We've already proven LinkedIn. It's not debate. We've already proven Facebook. It's not debate. It's, can you teach it? Yesterday I was on the phone with a top solar pro who just joined our company in Florida. He'd heard a lot of these things, but he didn't really understand the strategy behind it. And I happened to get on the phone with him after I did a group meeting, and I sent him what I send to real estate professionals, what I send to mortgage professionals, what I send for enterprise, which all of you have access to. Jonathan has it, Chris has it, every leader has it, right? What's that email you send? What's that video you share? What's the assets? And that was the connecting of the dots for him. He didn't have those. He didn't understand that next step. He knew we were supposed to do it, but the leadership needs to dig in and hold their hand and show them how to do it, right? That's the goal here, is how much duplication, as I think Jordan said, can you do, can you create? It's never can you do it. It's can you teach it? All of these are in your resource center, and everybody in their mindset should also be building into our February events, which will be in your newsletter, your calendar, when we do Career Week, because you're going to have a day where you can invite all the roofers, all the real estate agents, all the contracts, all the solar pros. And bigger picture, it's not how many people you have. This is what you always have to be thinking about. It's not how many people you can invite to the Career Week event for solar pros on that Monday night. It's how many solar pros can you bring in now that are building towards that event. You just have to always think about your thinking. It's never about the event. It's what you've done 30, 60, 90 days before the event. That's the key. So you're attract and share, Chris, how do you do it, man? You do it so well.
Yeah. And so it's connecting with all these people, right? Forming a relationship, and they need to see what you're doing, right? Maybe you're adding them on your social media. Maybe you're posting pictures of yourself shirtless by your pool, whatever you need to do to tease them and get them interested, right? As you're connecting with all these people, maybe you send out an email once every 2 weeks. Maybe you're posting on social media, right? share your wins on social media, right? You guys better be following Raisa and Rob, the Florida team under Luigi, because they are amazing at social media. Shout out to them. Follow them on social media. They do a phenomenal job, right? And post your wins on social media. Share what you're doing. Tease the opportunity, right? When I message some people on LinkedIn or when I call up a realtor, I tell them, hey, look, people are going to go solar with or without you. 30% of your customers are going to go solar in the next 4 years with or without you. Would you rather help them from a trusted source and earn half the commission and add solar to your business? And now you're a green certified realtor. I think I missed that on the prior slide here. Green certified realtors are phenomenal people to go after as well, guys. Google that. But yeah, posting your wins on social media, building out your social media presence, right? Make sure your profiles, your images, make sure anyone that even adds you on social media knows that you're in solar. Maybe there's a link to connect with you, message you, what have it. And you want to kind of share the opportunity, right? Adding income streams to their business with solar, some of the highest commissions, right? Tailor your message, right? If you're working with a realtor, if you're messaging a solar professional, right? It's going to be slightly different messaging, slightly different things you can tell them, sort of teasing, sharing the opportunity. For my brother and I, you guys have probably seen it before. My brother has been making a 15-minute video for the last, 3 years. There's different iterations. Solarmodelexplain.com is my brother's 15-minute video. And so other than kind of showing the opportunity, teasing some of these high-level highlights, benefits, whatever of power and solar industry, we also include the video, solarmodelexplain.com, for anyone that may be interested to add solar to their business and add it as an income stream, right? So that's a great way, not only messaging, connecting with them, posting on your social media so they can see what you're doing, they can see how you're winning with it, making sure all your profiles are dialed in, and have a video, maybe work up to record your own video, right? There's some simple slides you can use, maybe record a video of yourself that you can share as well. I have a longer 30-minute video as well that's on my brother's YouTube. When anyone is really serious to join, they need to watch the video, guys. And, I'm at the point now where if anyone really wants to talk to me, they need to watch the video first, right? 2 years ago when I joined Power, I felt like a broken record. I was doing 30-minute calls, multiple every single day, repeating myself over and over and over. And I thought, well, why the hell don't I just make a video, right? And then when anyone talks to me, they have to watch the video. So we've got the 15-minute, the 30-minute videos that me and my brother have recorded that people have to watch. And now when I jump on Zoom with them, I get to know them better. I get to connect with them and ask what their goals are and go over a calculator and get them bought in with Power, get them joined. They've already watched the video. They've already seen most of that. So, and I'll just touch on what that is in that video super quick. In my video, I talk about myself. I talk about, my strategy versus my brother's strategy. I go over some basic information about Power. I answer some common questions, right? A lot of solar pros or people have some common questions. As I recruit, people usually ask, when do you get paid? What panels does Power provide? Leads, the PM, who does the install? So as you guys are recruiting, if you're talking to solar pros, especially, they may be asking a lot of these questions. So, I answer some of these in my video. I show people a slide deck, right? Very similar to the Monday night Zooms that you guys can all build into, right? So these are some of the assets and resources that we share with people if they're interested in Power to get them more bought in. And again, make sure your profiles are dialed in as well.
Thanks, Zachary. Yeah, all of the resources from Career Week on what you would send to a real estate agent, the 3 different nights, solar pros, contractors, and the third one was real estate and mortgage brokers are in your knowledge base. To Chris's point real quick, remember, there's no secret why the Brunassos are having the success they do. There's an old saying, what do? You do everything. Well, how often do you do it? You do it all the time. So what do? You do everything all the time. They are always posting all the time. In addition to selling solar, mentoring solar, doing what they're doing, they are always engaging in these things. And to Chris's point, we've trained on this before, but for the new people here today, 8 out of 10 times I visit someone's Facebook profile in Power, their profile does not reflect that they're leading the national expansion for Power. Their profile suggests their other job or their networking business or their career work jobs or whatever they're doing. But first and foremost, prominent out there, if someone's looking at them on Facebook, it doesn't show what their primary goal is, what they do. Connect with me on Facebook if you want to see mine. When I look at on the LinkedIn profiles, 80% of the time I look at people's profiles, it does not reflect what they do in Power. They've got their old stuff, what they used to do, what they were known for, what, you know, their side job, their this, their that. It's never prominently displayed what they do in Power and in the about section and who we are and what we've done. And I know that Chris and Jonathan all use this all the time, every single day. So, you know, one of the keys is, again, look at your Facebook profile, look at your LinkedIn profile, and make sure it reflects who and what you are. And also remember, and again, we'll open up the chat bar for continued questions and stuff. There's no substitution for the human connection. So before I send somebody something, normally, if I think that they've got talent, I'm going to say, hey, can we have hey, I've heard about Power. And I'll say, well, I hear that. Can we have a quick, you mind if I give you the short version, you know, the 2-3 minute version? That's where you want to make sure your elevator pitch, for lack of a better term, is down. If you were to practice when we hung up this today, or when Jim breaks up into breakout rooms, maybe we'll do this next time, Jim. What's your 3-minute thing? I know what mine is. And 80% of the time people hear it, they enroll in Power. What's yours? How do you describe Power? You should practice this in the mirror, record it, listen back to it, listen to mine, listen to what we do. And we'll train on this next week. What do you say to somebody in those 2-3 minutes? So yes, send them this video, send them that video, send them this link, send them that link. But it's the personal connection. It's getting on the phone with them and understanding what are their wants, what are their needs. How did their former solar company let them down? You know, the gentleman I talked to yesterday had already made $1 million a year in solar. That's what he wasn't looking for. He was looking for culture. He was looking for vision. He was looking for the next place he could go, right? So think about that. You've always got to combine the personal touch. We're in the human development business, you know. Power, you know, is a human development program with a compensation plan attached to it. That's what it is. You know, that's who we are. That's what we do. So think about all these tools. And if you want to take a break, does anybody have any questions in the chat bar? Or does somebody want to come off mute for a moment if they have a question they want to ask of Chris?
Yeah, if you have any questions, put it in the chat.
Put in the chat. We can unmute you, or if you want to, you know, have a little chat about it. Remember, we're always going to tell it, Luis, right from the bottom of the, you know, line. There's never ever hiding anything, the good, the bad, and the ugly. You know, we're in the construction business. Shit happens. We're in the direct sales business. Shit happens. No matter what you do, 80% of the people you involve in Power are going to quit. It's the 80-20 rule, right? It's all along those things. And we have some fun. We have some time. I'll hit you with a little 3-minute pitch at the end of this, okay? All right, so Charles, excuse me, Charles, Chris, where do you go? He's in my head. Where do you go from there?
Yeah. So essentially, you need to have your why. You need to be able to find and connect and network with people, right? And I tell people recruiting is no different than selling solar, right? If you're selling solar properly and getting warm referrals, you're already out there networking. You're already out there talking to realtors and roofers and your neighbors and friends and family. So you can literally sell power in multiple ways. And I tell people this, literally anyone you guys ever talk to in your life, you can promote your business and you can promote power in some way. If you talk to anyone ever, they could, number one, be an ambassador. They could give you referrals and get $1,000. If they're in sales, if they're a home professional, if they want a side business, if they want to earn 7,000 commission on average for something everyone's doing in the next 5 years, they can join your team. They can join your business. They can add solar to their income, right? If they already have solar, well, they could be a referral partner of yours. So quite literally, guys, anyone you ever talk to in your life today, this weekend, next week, this whole year, you should be letting them know about power in some way, shape, or form. So as you're talking to more and more people, what's the next step, right? There, you're adding them on social media. Maybe you get their phone number, maybe you get their email address, and you need to keep up to date with them. You're posting, you're sharing, right? Can you imagine, guys, how big my brother's database is? He's been doing solar and real estate for 9 years, guys. Do you think he's got a database? You think he's met a couple people? Me, myself, I used to have my own business. I wasn't even networking, right? The last 2 years is really once I started networking more and connecting with more people, whether it's online or in person or what have you, collecting business cards, adding them on social media, getting their email addresses, getting their phone numbers, right? Once you have these guys, literally anyone you meet, any of this information, you guys should be treating this as a lead, right? How many of you guys think that solar leads and homeowner leads are important, right? And that's going to make you, sure, $6,000 if you close the deal, but anyone you meet, if they're going to join your team, well, they could easily make you $7,000 a year if they sell one deal a month passively, and you don't have to do any work, right? So you guys need to be treating people, sales reps, home professionals. You need to be treating these as leads, if not more important than your homeowner leads, right? And how can you keep in touch with them? How can you drip on them, right? And this is part of my background, so I'm pretty good at this, but can you be texting them? Can you be emailing them? Can you post updates? Can you let them know Power is now Inc. 43? Can you let them know Power is one of the fastest growing solar companies in the nation, the expansion, the growth of Power? Can you invite them to a Zoom? Maybe it's the Monday night Zoom that you invite them to. There's one every single Monday night, the Power Hour. Maybe you get to the point where you're going to Zoom with them privately and you have them watch a video before you Zoom with them, right? Maybe you're sharing new videos, right? So you want to keep your database updated, active, knowing what you're doing, sharing what you're doing, sharing your wins, sharing the benefits of solar, the environment, the commissions, adding it to their business. And again, have some resources, right? You have a lot of resources at your disposal. And if anyone wants to use my brother's 15-minute video, solarmodelexplained.com, you can use that, leverage that. A lot of these resources are already done for you guys. The Monday night Zoom is already done for you. Some other videos for our team and our resources that anyone can use. There's slide decks available. So everything's already done for you guys. It's how many more people can you connect with and how can you keep following up and discussing it with them. Here's a picture of me on a Zoom. I've gotten to the point where so many people hit me up and they're so interested that I do group Zooms. You can see in this picture here, I was doing a group Zoom with an HVAC, a guy in Las Vegas, someone that was in solar, a solar professional, different people. So yeah, this is the exciting part. And ultimately it's like closing a deal, right? You got to keep following up and dripping on them and see if they want to join your business and ultimately recruit them, close that sale, right? In this case, people are the leads. People are the sales. People are going to build your team and your company.
Okay. Someone had asked earlier in the chat bar about you're not hearing anything about them. That was kind of the first thing I said. The reason for the personal contact is you can't treat everyone as if they're a piece of data. What is it they want out of this? Did they get burned from their previous company? Are they looking for time freedom? Are they looking for location freedom? Are they looking to make an impact on the world? Are they looking to work around other positive people? What is it they're looking for? Do they want their children to respect what they do for a living? Retire the wife. My wife would definitely agree with that. She did retire. What is it they want? That's the whole key to the whole ball game. That was a great point. Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah. And now, when I Zoom with people and connect with them, they already watched the 15-minute video or my 30-minute video. So when I jump on Zoom with people now, what do I go over with them? I actually have another slide deck. If I do jump on Zoom with someone, they've already watched the 15-minute video. They already know about the opportunity and power and the benefits and the commission. They already know about all that. So once I jump on a Zoom with them, I get to know them better. And I share with them and I show them not only the growth of solar in the next 10 years, and that literally 1 out of 3 people they know that own a home are going to go solar by the end of this decade. But we go over an income calculator. I start shifting the conversation to how much money do you want to make this year with solar? What do you need to do to achieve that? Right. And we go over a calculator and how much activity they need to do, not only selling solar, but if you build a team of 10 people, you're making 5 to 6K a month passively. So I go over a calculator with these people as I connect with them, as I Zoom with them. And I remind people, guys, and this is a friendly reminder, being an entrepreneur is not easy. It takes time, energy, determination, right? Where you put your time, energy, and money is what's going to grow in your life. You guys have probably seen this image on Instagram before, right? So, I don't sugarcoat it, right? Being an entrepreneur is hard. Solar is hard. We're literally drilling holes on people's roofs. We're dealing with cities and utilities. You have to have thick skin. And when I recruit people, I'm honest. Look, if you're looking for a W-2 job or something handed to you on a silver platter, this might not be for you, right? So these are the conversations I have as I'm recruiting people. But a big purpose and passion that I share with them also is the value and why my brother and I do what we do. Not only helping homeowners save money, but donating solar and helping these families who have never had electricity, never had running water. And these are the families that are picking our produce that we buy at Costco's, right? So this is also very near and dear and part of what we do, why we do it, right? And you want to share that personal element as you're recruiting and get to know them. You want them to be motivated not by just how much money you're making, but why are you doing what you're doing, right? Share that. That's what's really going to motivate people.
Yep.
So
I love it. I found out in the middle of me recruiting this monster yesterday, or engaging with this monster, that I think he owned a yoga and meditation business. I mean, boom, right? A solar pro. And he didn't really have any idea about our culture and what we do. Imagine if he was at the leadership summit, or imagine when he comes to the next convention and really finds out, when you walk into one of our meetings, and to quote Anthony DePiro, what the hell's going on here? When he walks in and everybody's on the floor, meditating and doing breath work. So again, that's more about finding out what they want and what they're into. So let's talk about this, Chris. I think we trained this a couple weeks ago, about after that. Remember, your work begins when someone joins the platform. A lot of people think it ends. They recruit, they throw somebody in, they think they can throw them into a system or automated this and this meeting and that meeting. It has nothing to do with that. Your work begins when someone joins your business and you're forming a relationship with them, trust with them. Our whole company's been built upon that. Through all the challenges that we've been through, the reason people are here and the leaders are here is because their belief in Jonathan, their trust in Jim, their confidence in Charles. I've never led them astray. We've always done exactly what we said we were going to do. It's not always easy. People don't always understand it in the beginning, but that's what a lot of this is. So remember, you're building relationship out there. So once you get them in, Chris, then what's the play? How do you get them going, man?
Yeah, you're so right, Bobby. The work begins once they join. And it's almost like selling solar. People that are new to selling solar, they're like, oh, great, I sold the deal. I'm going to make money. I don't have to do anything now. No, you have to manage your job. You have to check in every single week on your job, open a ticket, check in with them, right? And recruiting, again, guys, it's very similar to selling solar. You're already networking with people. You're already making connections, right? You're just giving them both options. You can sell them solar, you can get them recruited. And when they join, then the work begins, right? You got to be engaged with them. Step one is the 5-hour onboarding. I have a steps to success, and you guys have probably seen my master resource document before. So I've got 7 steps. I email people this. It's right here on this document. I'll throw it in the chat if anyone wants it. But these are the steps that I email people when they join that I recommend. And you want to get them plugged in. Join our team chat, join our team Facebook group, watch some of the training videos, right? So that's what I send when I'm recruiting people and they join. I go ahead and, tell them step 1 is the 5-hour onboarding. And then I email them those steps that I just showed you there. And then I'll actually do a Zoom meeting with them to review their goals and what they want to achieve and make a game plan for how they can achieve it. Right. And get them engaged, have them join your trainings, have them join your own private Facebook group, have them join the Power Zoom meetings, get on Power Calendar. The more engaged people are, the more successful they're going to be. And I hope that all 280 of you on this Zoom, because you're here, that means you're more engaged. That means you're more likely to take action, to learn from these things, to go ahead and now implement it into your daily practice and your routines and your schedules and get some of this done and share the trainings with them, right? My brother and I are now at the point where we have so many people on our team. We're actually texting everyone, every week to join our trainings. We're texting them resources. So that's the point we're at. We're sharing it in our team's Facebook group, right? So, and you want to develop the connections, build the relationships, right? What's so fucking cool about this, guys?
Now we're talking. All right. First F-bomb. Good man.
There we go. What's so
Game on.
what's so fucking, yeah, that's all the logistics, right? But what's so fucking cool is you get to build friendships and build relationships and go hang out with Bobby Smith by the pool. And what's so cool, guys, is I've now built up such a team, and I now have over 20 mentors nationwide. And what's wild is some of them I've never even met in person. And some of the mentors are here on this chat: Jim Hobbs, Steve Reynolds. If you guys are a mentor on my team, throw it in the chat. And now some of my mentors in other states are training some of the other new recruits in other states. I've literally had some of my mentors like Ramsey go out door knocking with new recruits in Florida that I've never met. And I'm just networking and connecting with people virtually. That's so fucking cool. And then we get to meet in person. We get to meet at Power World in Dallas last year. Michael Patterson, the #1 mentor in Florida. Michael Margel, one of the top mentors in New Jersey. Joseph Materchek in Pennsylvania. We get to connect with them. We get to talk with them. We get to meet with them. And they become your friends. They become your family, right? And you're building that connection with them. Hopefully you have time in your schedule to connect with them, to follow up, to see how their lives are going, and just make that relationship, as my brother and I say, more sticky, right? You want to make the relationship you have with your company, your teammates, your family. You want to make it more sticky, right? Bobby
I'm looking
Smith.
at the chat bar. I probably need a new team if this was supposed to be like. That's a conversation to have with your team, or you can email me at bobby.smith@power.com. Is there any of you wondering right now why the Brunassos are putting up the numbers that they're putting up? Why they're making millions of dollars a year? Anybody understand what they're doing differently than what you might be doing? How much detail and time they put into assets and marketing materials and all those things. And Chris, let's go a little bit deeper, man, because we all know what we know. What are you and I working on now? What's the next phase of growth for you? We know what you're great at. What do you want to get better at? What am I pounding into your head? What are our conversations about?
Yeah, definitely. And Bobby Smith, guys, is he's the GOAT. He's the GOAT. And he's helping me see the next level, the next vision, right? Sure, I'm great on computers. Sure, I'm great at numbers and ads and getting a lot of people and systems, right? But how can I be better at making relationships? How can I be better at following up and keeping in constant communication with my team and having them grow their business, right? This is one of the first trainings. I haven't ran many trainings, guys. This is one of the first trainings I'm really running. And I shared it with my whole team and all my mentors because I want all of you to build your teams, right? And one of the things Bobby is teaching me is don't just be the #1 recruiter, be the #1 team builder, the #1, you're in the leadership development business, not just recruiting numbers, right? So that's really the next level for me, is just deepening these relationships with some of my top guys, keeping in touch with them, having them identify their goals. How can I best help them achieve their goals? And how can I help them recruit themselves, right? And I'm actually sharing all my resources with my team as well. There's a recruiting tab on here that everyone has access to. And yeah, helping build a bigger team and helping develop leaders, I think is the next step, if I get this right from Bobby Smith.
And Chris, I want to say in front of the world here, how many of you agree with me out there? Simply brilliant today. Simply brilliant today. And you haven't spoken on Monday night, right? You haven't taken the lead to do an event yet, right?
Yeah.
Here's my challenge to you. When we hang up here today, email Irene and tell her you'd like to do a power hour, because you've earned it. You deserve it. These people are digging you. They're loving what you're doing, man. And again, sometimes you see these people on there, you don't understand their journey. You don't understand mine. I never spoke publicly in front of anyone until I did. This was not what they were born to do. They opened themselves up. I mean, Chris just slayed it today for all of you. He's engaging. He's fun. He's knowledgeable. He's got data to support it. He's acknowledging his teammates.
He's the better looking twin.
I'm sure we'll be hearing from the other one in a moment then. So what a great next step for him. I honor him and acknowledge him, that he made a great stride here today. This isn't easy. to get on it. The three biggest fears in life for people are going to the dentist, one, death, public speaking, two, followed by death, right? So this is not easy. Chris put himself out there for all of you here today. And that's what brilliant, evolving leaders to do. And the question would be for all of you, who's next? Because I promise you, you'll see Chris on a Monday night power hour within the next couple of weeks, because that's his next wave of growth. And what's the value of that? Again, you're seen as a leader. You're branding yourself. Whoever wants to be on Building with Bobby, message me. Tell me what you've got to share with the community. We want to build a whole new wave of leadership. Do you realize the biggest money makers in the history of power haven't heard about us yet? 5 years from now, when Brunassos are making the $2 million a year, and this one's making $1 million a month, and these new people are starting to flock into our company because we're marketing products that haven't been invented yet, because we're in countries that we haven't been to yet. Is anybody feeling that? Are you understanding that? If you think you're new or late to the game or this or that, we haven't started yet.
Yep, we're just getting started. Exactly, Bobby. And guys, on this Zoom, Bobby told my brother and I like a year and a half ago, like, you guys need to override cities. How would you like to override a city or a state? And quite frankly, I thought Bobby was crazy. Like, I didn't see that vision. But now my brother and I have over 100 mentors on our team. I've got mentors just under me in Texas, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Virginia, Florida. And they're now building their own teams. So that vision that Bobby told me of overriding cities and overriding states is finally coming to fruition. And I'll just leave you guys with this. But, when I first started recruiting, I'll be honest, it was more about the money and passive income and all this. But what is so amazing to me is how we can change lives. My brother has developed so many leaders like Cynthia, Jordan Shaw, others that have bought homes, bought cars, changed their families' trajectories, right? And one of the most meaningful things to me is when you can build a team and helps change someone else's life for the better, right? Mike Patterson was a full-time special ops firefighter. He's quit his job. He's sold like over 100 deals with Power already. He bought himself a new truck. He's doing amazing. Jim Hobbs, who's on this Zoom, he's in Virginia. He says he loves the energy and people of this company, and we all rock. I've got a guy in New Jersey who is doing this part-time. He's already sold 10 deals. He's got 3 more in the pipeline. He says he can't wait to give his boss the finger and quit his job. So this has become, right, my purpose, my why has shifted from, I just want to make money every Friday for revenue share, to I get to change people's lives and develop leaders and help them build teams and interact and make really transformational income, transformational careers. So
brilliant, Chris. I'm so proud of you. And there's something right there for you folks. I learned in my career as I started building organizations and engaging with people. Do you know that the vast majority of humans on this planet go their entire life without everyone whispering those words in their ears? Those simple words. I'm proud of you. Their father never did it. Their mother never did it. Their grandparents never did it. Their spouse never did it. It can be one of the most meaningful things that anyone ever hears. Chris, I'm proud of you, man. I mean, look what you've done here today. Look what your brother has done, preparing you for this. Look what your parents did, preparing the two of you for this. Look what your grandparents did, preparing them to have you two be so great. Look at the lives that you're touching. So I want to make a couple announcements, and then sometimes these things go long. And you can hang around or not. You can do. Chris might have other things to do, or whoever does. But sometimes we've done this. We've been on an hour afterwards because people just get into it. They want to know what we did. Here's one thing I would say to you from a business strategy standpoint, because it's my job. First of all, 2 things. All of you should know that right now we're about to make a transition from office hours to market development meetings around the United States. We talked about this at the summit. I think it's going to be one of the biggest uplifts we had. We're designing new software. We're building new things. Every department's working on game-changing things. But you want to start to keep an eye on your calendar. If you're in it to win it, if you're in this game to really win big, you want to start attending every office hour meeting in your location. You want to start, because what office hours is going to transition into, again, is market development meetings. We're going to have every week, we're going to have an operations manager. We're going to have a top seller in the marketplace, like a Chris Brunasso, like a Larry McKinney, like an Aaron Browning, whoever it might be, and they're going to train how to sell in Virginia, how to sell in North Carolina with Mike Miller and Lenny Fairfield, how to sell here, how to sell there. And we're going to put strategies together, because if you're really great, if you're a team builder right now, on your calendar or on your wall, you have the Power virtual meeting the first weekend of March, I believe, on your calendar. You've got Career Week, those days in February, on your calendar. The next Power Day live is going to be in April. So you're always you're always pointing the sword. You're always working back from the next events. The next big event, again, Power Virtual. The next big event, Career Week. The next event, Monday night. How many of you are attending? And more importantly, how many of you are being featured on there? Tell your story. Anybody can get on there on Monday night. We want to tell your story. The news story, the first success story, I touched someone's life story. All of you should be clamoring and communicating to be featured on Monday night. All the leaders should be clamoring and communicating to speak on Monday nights. And all of you, I'll be in February in Florida. We're locking down the tour. Chris, what's the biggest thing that I'm beating you and your brother up to death about? What's the next phase of growth for you and your brother?
What's the next event? Where are we going next? Where are we connecting with people?
Where's the tour?
Yes.
When is Jonathan Brunasso going to be here? When am I going to be in Nevada? When is this one going to be there? When are you going to cross-pollinate? The different leaders are going to different markets. If you have a question, you'd like to talk about something live, just raise your hand in the chat bar and we'll give you, a moment to ask your question or your thing. Again, brilliantly done, Chris.
Thank you so much, Bobby. Thank you everyone for joining. I put my master resource link in the chat there if anyone wants to save or bookmark that.
All right, so real quick, we always like to give people a chance to be heard. So Russell, you've got a question. Why don't you come off mute and ask your question?
Hi, there we go. Sorry, I was
there you go, man.
I had to get released.
What's
so
happening,
basically,
brother?
Arizona. I know that you were telling me that office hours is going to be something that starts to kick off in there. What other types of things do you guys tend to offer or like to build inside of those different markets?
Ask me a direct question. I'll give you a direct answer.
Okay. Other than office hours, what other types of trainings would we be able to make available in AZ?
So remember, this is where it's going to start. That's what market development is about. Office hours is going, market development's coming. I want to talk to all the leaders in Arizona, one place, one time. Remember, the main focus is to upgrade selling in the local market. Bridge the gap between sales and operations, right? Learn how to be great in your local market. But the other wins here, again, the wins are for the leaders, like a Brunasso who's got 1,000 people. And quite frankly, if I'm Jonathan Brunasso, I'm telling my entire team, attend your local market development meeting or lose my phone number. Because if they don't have an hour to develop to their business as a CEO of their own renewable energy company, they're probably not my gal, right? But what it also does is it gives me a look at everybody in the marketplace, and then we discuss as a team, what's the next Zoom dedicated to Arizona? What's the next meet dedicated to Arizona? So Larry McKinney's is hit me up on that right now. All this is going to evolve over the next couple of weeks. Just keep an eye on your calendar, talk to your leadership. Trust me, I've been wrong before. This is the next evolution of power. Everybody who's playing, everybody's in the game will be on their local market development meeting. We have got to get great at selling in our local markets. It's almost arrogant to think that we could be the fastest growing solar company in the world without teaching people how to sell local. And remember, the market development meeting is the nucleus of upgrading our certification, which may now have a local certification attached to it, upgrading the spotlight page, putting some more user-friendly terms on there, maybe a link to a Q&A. And again, operations will understand sales more. Sales will understand operations more. It's a time saver. It's free. All the leaders can get together and cross-pollinate and work together. There's strength in numbers. If you have your own event, there's 8 people there. If Larry McKinney and this leader in Arizona and that leader and Aaron Browning flies into Arizona to do an event, and then Andy Smith comes behind him, and then Jonathan Brunasso becomes him. That's how you go from 50 to 30 to 50 to 100. Everybody makes more. And not only do you make more money, it gives us more buying power, more negotiating power with our installers, with our manufacturers, with our finance companies. The next wave of growth determines and gives Jonathan the abilities to go do what he needs to do to run this company. Now it's up to us to strengthen our local markets. Make sense? Do you think I'm passionate about it?
Yes, I appreciate it.
I'll see you on the Arizona market development, brother. You can own it. It's yours for the taking. Owning cities. That's the game. Leadership development and real estate.
Boom.
Russell, who else we got? Russell, we got yours. Joshua, you got a question, brother?
Yes, how you doing, Bobby? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, man, looking good, bright and yellow.
I'm outside today. Yeah, thank you. And as far as market development goes, I just wanted to talk to your question, your comment about where's the tour. This little picture behind me is a solar powered truck. I drove across the country because I saw where net metering was going in solar, that we're going to have to do off-grid solar sooner or later. This truck actually can power a house. It's powering my house right now. And I'd love to lead a market. I'm ready to build with power. I just discovered you guys a little bit ago, put a few deals through, getting those squared away and looking to build my team. So I love these events. Thank you for all you're doing.
Our pleasure, man. That's dope. That is super freaking cool. Where are you at right now?
Right now, I'm in Florida. I'm originally from here, but I've been working in the Idaho market for 7 years. I did residential for a few years and then commercial. And now I'm looking to build a team, because what you mentioned earlier, kind of the why, I'd love to teach and stop doing the selling myself and teach others how, because that's the really only true way to grow exponentially. How can I get 1 million homes, with solar power? I can't do it myself. I need to build a team.
I love it. So 2 things. We really have very limited, if anyone, that's really building in Idaho. So if you feel like you've got local sales expertise of how to sell in Idaho, and if in fact you're building there, right? Send me an email, brother, at bobby.smith@power.com with Idaho market development in the subject line. Same for anybody out there that wants to play at the next level. Send me an email to bobby.smith@power.com and in the subject line, what market you want to be involved in leveling the game up. So if you want to be that guy in Idaho, if you're still building there, that's great. If you're building in Florida, I'm going to be there in less than 30 days. So again, when there's an event happening, it's not about the event. It's about what you're doing the 30 days before that event. In a perfect,
and I love the focus
world,
on market building as well, because it is really different. Each market has a lot of specifics that sellers need to know to prevent a lot of issues with their customers. Idaho is one of those it's got a lot of quirks to the electrical code. I just sold, the biggest system you can sell residentially is only 25 kilowatts. You can't go to 30 like you can in some other markets. And so there's a lot of interesting, and also the people there are a little different. A lot more of them want to be off grid, even though, I try to talk them down from that ledge. But markets are really where it's at. If you can learn one market and expand that as a seller and team builder, I think that's the way to go. I'm really happy to see Powers doing that. And I'm all in with you guys.
So in closing, man, and again, remember the advantage. If you're that guy in Idaho and you do the local training, remember, this is what market development is going to look like. Operations gets on for 5 or 10 minutes, give an update to the market, what we've learned, what we fixed, what we've enhanced, how we've grown. Then a local seller like you, Josh, gets on there and teaches how to sell in Idaho, right? That training gets recorded and goes into the knowledge base. How much money do you think you could make selling remotely in your hippie van from wherever you're at, because people perceive you now as the expert in Idaho? That's why
the goal.
You want to take control. Huh?
No, for sure. I don't know the answer. I want to find out the amount.
Amount of what?
Well, you said how much money you could make. I'm looking to find out that answer for you.
I'll help you. 3x whatever you're making now, 10x whatever you're making now. So if you want to be that guy in Idaho, even though you're not physically going to be there, send me that email. I need an expert in Idaho. If you're building,
I know. So I used to work for a company that went under, and all the guys split off. I still have connections with all those guys there, from the installers to the sales orgs. There's a sales guy who's in roofing right now. We need to get him on with the new roofing platform that Power's building.
Quick, if they're not in Power right now, if I'm you, different training, it's in your knowledge base. I would hold your own private Zoom, invite everybody you know in Idaho on there, bring your leadership on. I'll even come on if it's done right, and put them all in one room at one time. I've trained it. I'm going to train again, I think next week, the private business launch. Bring everybody on that you know in Idaho on the one Zoom. It's time effective, it's cost effective, it's scalable, and it just works. And if you're building into my tour in Florida, which will start in Broward and go over to Orlando and Tampa, it's what you do now. Can you recruit people on Facebook, LinkedIn now? Can you bring some guys and gals in now so they're building for when I get there? It's not about, listen, big distinction. It's not about who you have in the room when I get there. It's about who you bring in between now and then and help them build into the events in Florida. Big difference. The money is made long
Joshua,
before I get there. Chris?
Joshua, connect with me on Facebook or shoot me a message as well. We have 2 leaders in Idaho, or anyone in Idaho. We did an Idaho launch, exactly what Bobby's talking about. We have 2 enterprise clients in Idaho. My brother and I, scheduled a launch with them. They invited any salesmen or women, home professionals they know. And so my brother and I now have mentors in other states, and we help them do launch events and build their business. So
Chris, I need an email from your team. I've got nobody listed on the sheet right now in Idaho. Remember, whoever gets featured, their income triples. Give me your leaders in these particular states now. Subject line, market development, Orlando. We're not shy, Carlos. We will promote the hell out of the tour. Just mark down 15th, 16th, 18th. I believe the first state is in Broward County, then on to Orlando and Tampa. There'll be a Thursday night event and then a big Saturday event and then meetings in between that. Trent Thomas, I hope I'm saying that right. If you want to unmute, you got a question. I love this shit. Go.
All right, thank you, Bobby. Yep, it's Trentimus. Trentimus.
Trentimus, cool name, brother. I got stuck with Bob Smith. What can I tell you?
It's so I'm actually in Boise, moving to Austin. So definitely keep me in the loop on that. And
I'm not keeping you in the loop. You keep me in the loop.
Okay,
if you want to be a part of Idaho, bobby.smithandpower.com and watch your calendar for market development Idaho.
Okay, sounds good, Bobby.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for putting this together. Very knowledgeable and supportive. And I'm 2 months in. I've done 5 deals, have 3 more in the books. Recruited 4 people. Really excited. Hit tier 2, and looking forward to seeing. This is my first 2 months in solar. Period. So I'm really excited that I landed first with power. I feel very blessed.
Congratulations, brother!
Awesome.
You're off to a good start.
Thank you.
Outstanding,
Thank you.
man. Well done. I'm proud of you.
Thank you. I'm really impressed by the company, and that's been a big part of it. And so, Bobby, you're the guy that I'm like, hey, I want to do this. I'm going to talk with you about it first. And so it's been a healthy progress. So I'm wondering about recruiting. I have a lot of people that want to join, but a lot of them saying, you know what, I don't want to hit up my friends and family. I've done network marketing before, and I burned myself. I burned my bridges. What do I do?
That's a great question. As a guy who did network marketing for a few years, built one of the biggest organizations in the world. I didn't really burn my bridges because most of the people that came with me made a lot of money. I would just say to those people 2 things. Go back to those people anyway. Again, we're really not a multi-level by strict interpretation. We could, because we pay multiple levels of people. We are a direct sales company, but there's a difference between, selling an overpriced shake on a monthly auto ship or skincare and changing the world. So I would still go back to those people. Everybody has a right to say yes or no. I started a new business. Again, give them the, 2 minutes, if you will. Give them a reason to take a look. I always say there's a million analogies you can come up. I was married before, right? It didn't work out. My wife's walking by now. It didn't stop me from meeting my dream girl. Right. So if you let one experience, not just in MLM or direct sales, but in life or business, if you let one negative experience cloud your judgment about the next thing that might down the road, then that's just bad business. You always take a look at something. Right. And then I'm sure all these people have an entire different audience that could go after. So go after everybody that was in your future world, your future business, explain the differences between this and traditional network marketing, and then go after a whole new crew of people that you've never spoke to. Go after everyone, and then get on Facebook, get on LinkedIn, and meet the people that you don't know.
And show them how successful you are. You already had this success. Post about that. Share that, right? And it's not like that mindset of like, oh, what are they going to think? I don't want to pitch my friends and family. It's not even that. It's renewable energy. It's helping the environment and sharing your wins. Like you're not like, oh, pitching for blah, blah, blah. Like, no, you're helping the world. You're helping the environment. You're helping people do something that 1 in 3 people in the next decade are going to go solar with or without you. So you might as well help them.
Yeah,
I like
and to
that.
Chris's point, which him and his brother are great at, engaging versus pitching. Post your success stories. I just sold this deal. I'm going to make $8,000. I'm pulling this much carbon dioxide out of the atmosphere. I'm doing this great stuff. So you're engaging them in your victories without necessarily pitching them, right? Again, I made the most money I ever made in network marketing from someone who said no to me for a long time. Jonathan Brunasso didn't say yes for 6 months. So again, it's not always you're collecting no's and then you're dripping on them. That's a key. And the Brunassos are brilliant at that. Continuing to drip back to them, go back to them with a success story, go back to them with a victory. Hey, Power just did this. An Inc. magazine article. When I've got someone on the hook and they haven't bit yet, a lot of times I'll say, may I send you the newsletter from my last week of my company? I want you to get a feel for our communication and our culture and who we are and what we stand for. So use all the tricks at your disposal. I use the hell out of the newsletter. When I've got someone on the fence and they haven't made a decision, check this out.
Yeah, that's great, Bobby. It's in. I think they've told me, yes, I want to do it, but I'm not sure where to get leads because I've already, I hit up my friends and family. So there's a lot of options, and that you guys have answered that on this call.
It's a big world out there, brother. Just keep doing what you're doing, man. You'll be fine. Carrie, do you have a question real quick? Thank you very much, Trent Thomas. You would go off mute, Carrie?
Yeah. Question.
Yes, sir.
First of all, I love these meetings because it inspires me every single day. I want to be the next Chris and Jonathan and JC. It is my
Careful
goal.
what you ask for.
No, it is what I want. I've been a leader in solar for many, many years. And so leadership and helping people get where they need to go is great. The question I'm having is I'm struggling through recruiting. I'm getting people that are interested. They want to talk to me. The biggest problem is I'm overcoming, and maybe this is a great question for Chris, is people have ever heard of Power. They've joined Power. They didn't have a great experience with Power. They've heard negative feedback with Power because they had talked to somebody who had it. Like, how do you really overcome some of those major objections that I'm hearing right now?
Chris, you want to take first stab? Weren't you wearing that whiskey shirt last week?
It's whiskey.
Tell me how to compliment that shirt last week. I'm pretty sure. Go ahead, Chris. You want a thought? I certainly have.
Yeah. So Carrie, are you saying the people already joined and they're giving some pushback, or you're prior to recruiting them?
See, all the above. I just talked to somebody earlier this week, and he wants the financial freedom. He wants to be able to sell virtually, but he's like, "Hey man, I've already been with Power twice and I got burned. Like, I don't want to pay the $89."
So he wants financial freedom. He wants revenue share. He wants passive income, but he doesn't want to go through challenges, and to get something rewarding, go through the challenges is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, I think it's more or less like he didn't get the support, right? As we talk through this, right? You guys support people.
Right. And, that's also why when I recruit, that's what I tell people, right? You have to have thick skin. This is construction. Like, a PM might have a delay and a labor installer might have an issue, might punch a hole in the roof. Like, shit happens, right? Even Charles says 1 out of 10 jobs are going to be a shit show, right? And there we can dig into why he had issues and was he properly managing their jobs. A lot of people have the expectation they can sell a deal and then poof, go away. And they don't properly manage their jobs and check in once a week and open a ticket and do what they're supposed to. So expectation setting is huge. I do that before I recruit. I do that before I even sell a homeowner, on expectations, timing, what to expect, all these things. And my team knows if they need to escalate anything, if there's a delay, if they are properly managing their job, if there's a delay, they're going to text me. I'm going to help them. I'm going to help them find the right channels. As a leader, that's my job, to make sure my team has the right resources and I'm helping them escalate any potential issues. So just some of my feedback.
Carrie, look, you can't say the right thing to the wrong person. You can't say the wrong thing to the right person. What, for me, it always comes back to, and this is what I train, is language and posture. Tesla's got 1 million bad reviews online. Doesn't mean people aren't buying Teslas. Amazon's got a gazillion bad reviews online. Doesn't mean people aren't using Amazon. Every restaurant, every nursing home, every school, every sports team. Right now, the debate about our quarterback in Baltimore, everybody's got an opinion. You buy someone's opinion, you buy their lifestyle. I would just reaffirm to them exactly what Power is and who we are. Look, there's no debate. Again, people ask me what my pitch is. Well, the short version is, remember, Power's been the fastest growing solar company in the United States, if not the world, for the last 3 years. We've broken 2 world records raising money privately. Our board of directors has raised billions in venture capital. We are paying 2 to 3 times what the average solar company is paying out there, plus stock options. And we're the only company that's rebating finance fees to our members of our community. People are making record-breaking incomes. The greatest challenge that a company can have is that they had some negative things happen because they were outgrowing their wildest predictions. To grow 1,500% in COVID, to invest $1 million in a CNN-like media center, record-breaking incomes every day, every week, every month. We're breaking records every single hour of every single day. Our top people are now making millions of dollars working from their beach houses around the world. So again, a lot of this just comes down to the mirror, buddy. You got to look in the mirror. What am I saying and how am I saying it? What is your language? What is your posture? You know, anybody can say anything. There's negative reviews on anybody. Here's the facts. Power is the fastest growing solar company in the United States of America for the 3rd year in a row. We're going to do $500 million in revenue, and we are changing an industry, a broken industry, a solar industry that scaled by 4% in 20 years. And what do you mean you don't want to join? We're the fastest growing solar company. We're the largest solar company in the state of Texas. Really? You don't want to be a part of that? 2% of all the solar in the United States of America is now going through that. We've added a roofing division, an HVAC division, a home vehicle charging station division. We might be selling electric cars on our platform in the not too distant future, creating software, innovating, paying more money faster through site surveys, online site surveys. The only company in the world other than Tesla that has that software. So what's your ammunition, buddy? Are they dictating the conversation or are you, Chris?
Yeah. And, you know, I'll also just say that, you know, what's most rewarding is going to be most challenging, right? My brother in the last 3 years has sold over 300 deals with Power and recruited over 300 people. You think he's gone through some fucked up shit? You think he's had projects take a year? You think he's had sales reps like rip him a new one because some of their projects got fucked? Like, that's the industry. That's Solar Coaster. That's not just Power. That's this entire industry.
Yeah.
That's team building. That's construction. So proper expectation setting, realizing that, but all the resources, right? Power is innovating. They have a live chat. You can chat anytime now, you know, the ticketing system, the PMs are being tracked on it. So, and my brother has worked for the top 4 solar companies in the nation. You know, there's a reason we're here, right? So it's not just Power, it's the solar industry, the Solar Coaster at large, but expectation setting and knowing what I just said.
Yeah, they talk about this company and that company, Sunrun. Well, why did their COO invest $750,000 in Power and take a board seat? You know, they talk about Power Home Solar was this and that, and Apricot was this and that, and now Titan, you know, firing their CEO and all of these things. You'll probably hear another 3 to 5 top solar companies going out of business, or we're going to buy them, right? So again, look in the mirror, Care. It's up to you to be transmitting a message that these people are going to dig and buy into. As we begin to wrap it up, iPhone, I don't know who that is. It says you got a question real quick. You would need to come off mute. Okay. Any other closing thoughts? Anybody hand up questions before we wrap it up? Yes. iPhone.
Oh, I have no question.
Okay, cool.
I'll see that on my name, but hey, I'm from California. I just joined 2 days ago. I have no questions, but I just want to give you a heads up. You're probably going to listen to my name pretty soon. I just recruited 3 people in 2 days and 5 sales already there, but I'm waiting for my tier 3 to start.
I love it, brother.
It's a
Welcome
good
to
platform.
Power.
You guys can do it pretty good.
I love somebody who says you're going to hear my name. Where are you located?
Right, Hardeep Tivana. Remember?
Where are you
I'm
located?
in Fresno, California.
Gotcha. We'll see you on Monday night.
I'm in Fresno, California. I already, yeah.
We got to get you some new internet
Perfect.
service,
All
and
right.
we'll
Monday
see you on
night,
Monday
take
night.
care.
Bring your whole team with guests on Monday night. All right, last questions, thoughts. Maureen, you got anything to say before we wrap it up? Gotcha. Okay. Again, a special thank you to Chris for his time and his energy and everything he's contributing to the world and the planet. No, you can't date my daughter, but yes, we appreciate everything you're doing. Jonathan, because you brought him to the party again, you know what we think. Again, keep an eye on your calendar. Work backwards from March virtual event. Work in the Power Week. Work in the Power Day in April. So Power Day April, live online convention March, Career Week February, this Monday night. Everybody should be watching the calendar and attending their office hour meetings in their marketplace, which is going to transition. It's going to be very simple. Everybody who's in the game is going to be on the market development meetings. Everybody else is going to be watching it happen and then wondering what the hell they were thinking if they weren't there. Okay. So again, special thanks. Let's give it up for Chris. In the chat bar, let's show him some love. Hit it out of the park. I'm very proud of you. Rock and roll, people. Let's build for Monday night. Let's have a great night, great new speakers. And when are you going to give a testimony on Monday night? When are you going to speak on Monday night? I know Chris has already emailed Irene to secure his spot to speak on Monday night. Who's next? Peace. Later.
Let's go. Thank you, everyone. Have a great weekend.
Mahalo.